Alright, welcome back. In today's video, what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about how to position your marketing in such a way that you can maximize the speed in which you can get your house taken care of. Okay, so what I'm going to do is share with you a little bit about the system we use that we've had to develop since we've dealt with so many properties at the same time. You see, a lot of folks, when they first start out selling for sale by owner, they make the mistake of thinking they can, put an ad on Craigslist, answer a couple phone calls, and have the house handled. And that's probably the largest way to quickly get frustrated that you can come up with. So what I want to do is pull up my little sheet here, and I'm going to take you through what I call the escalator marketing method that we use. And it is a method, and it's semi-automated. It's not completely automated, but it's semi-automated so that it kind of leverages our time. Because as you can imagine, if we have 5 or 6 houses at one time going, we just don't have the time and the bandwidth in the day to be able to sit and say the same thing to everybody all day long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take you through the 4 steps to the escalator marketing method at a high level, and then and give you some thoughts along the way. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create some traffic. Okay, and really this should be a number of different arrows. Traffic comes from all different sources, and you want to have traffic from all sources. It's like you want to have fishing lines in all different parts of the water so that you can have a chance of catching more fish. While it only takes one person to buy your house, it's going to take quite a few people to go through your system to be able to pick out that one person and know which one that's qualified to work with. A lot of folks, they make that mistake of thinking, well, just the first person that's interested, I'll just put them in there, and that can be really destructive at the end of the day if they're not properly qualified. So first thing is traffic. What we do is we send our traffic into we call our introductory system, and this is really just a phone system that we use, that's basically set up to take numbers of different calls throughout the day. Okay, so this is everything from bedrooms to bathrooms. They're going to get a recorded message telling them about the property, and then at the end of this message we're going to ask them for some information as well to see if they'll give it to us. This is the first step in which we're going to follow to see who's really more motivated than others, because we're looking for the right person, not just any person. Okay, and this is all automated. This is something that just happens on its own, and then as people call in, they leave messages, whatever, you get status reports and let you know how they're doing. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is once they do that, we're going to pop over here into what we call the pre-qualify step. Now with this phone system, what's great is it catches every phone number that comes in, whether they leave a message or not. And the ones that do leave a message, leave a voicemail with the information we asked them, we're going to call those people back first. So we'll call the voicemail back people first, and we're going to go through basically a little pre-qualification script. It's amazing to me how many people, when they get a message on their phone saying that, having someone that's interested in their property, they'll call back and they'll say something like, okay, so what do you want to know? That is not a good idea. Okay, because keep in mind, along the way here, everything we're doing is we're building rapport. Okay, I'm going to just draw a big giant arrow here, and I'm going to call this rapport. Rapport is basically just a nice way of saying know, like, and trust. You see, people don't do business with you, and they don't do financial transactions with you unless they know, like, and trust you. And what we want to do is we want to be able to create a way in which people can get to know us a little bit, like us, and trust us, and vice versa, us with them, so that once we get to the right person here, we have a pretty good working relationship already. Okay, and we're doing that in a way that leverages our time. You see, I fully realize that most people that are going through this course or are looking at the Turbo for Sale by Owner system or any kind of for sale by owner information just don't have a lot of time on their hands. They want to get things done fast. So we want to make sure that we set up a tool, a system in place that does that. Okay, so we're building this rapport. So they've already heard your voice a little bit over here. They've heard about the property. They've heard your passion about the property. They've heard you ask them for a little bit of information. Now we're going to call them back. Okay, and this is what's great, is that you call them back using a script, not just winging it, but using a script. Within about 60 seconds, you can know the 7 pieces of information that you need to know to see if this person is going to be a good candidate to set your appointment with. Okay, and that's the goal. Every one of these steps has a goal. The intro step has the goal to just have a place for all your traffic to go in a consistent and cohesive way, to where then you get a report and you can start to call them back. So that's the first goal. The second goal, the pre-qualification goal, is to basically talk with everyone and then have that 60-second conversation where you get that piece of information. And this is a script that we have used for years, that it just gets right to the point to see if this is the person that's willing, that we're willing to set an appointment with, if they're qualified at this point in time. You see, if you let people do this, they will, and that is, you'll have people come and just look at your house and have no way whatsoever to buy it, but they'll waste their time and they'll come out and just want to talk to you and see what's going on and so forth, and it's just going to be a huge waste of everyone's time and frustration. So what we want to do is we want to kind of filter out those folks ahead of time, so that you're only setting appointments with the people that are qualified. Now, just as a quick side note here, you notice I didn't use the word showing. Okay, we never ever ever do a showing. A showing is all about giving power to all these people to come and go as they want. Instead, what we're going to do is actually set an appointment like you would set a doctor's appointment. It has a sense of importance, and it's respected better than a showing. Okay, so what you're going to do is, with these folks here, the ones that pass through the 60-second pre-qualification script, you're going to set an appointment. Okay, and you're going to set your appointments staggered at about 5 to 10 minutes each. Okay, so that way you can actually block out a Tuesday, let's say a Tuesday evening for 2 hours, let's just, for the lack of a better timeline here, and you can basically, with all the effort you've been doing here, have everybody coming within 5 to 10 minutes of each other during that 2 hours. And that does a lot of wonderful things for you. The one of which is it creates a sense of urgency. Right? People get a sense of fear when they realize that more people are interested in something than not. That's why you always want to have multiple people coming to the property. That's the intention behind a showing. It's just showings are done so poorly that we just kind of get rid of that. We use an appointment concept, but we get the same benefit, and that is that we get a lot of people walking through the property as it goes. You want to create that kind of almost controlled pandemonium here. Okay, in the appointment stage, what's the goal of the appointment? Well, the goal of the appointment, just like the goal of the other one, in this case, the appointment is we want to create and get an application. Right? We're trying to see, okay, do you love the home? We know that financially and everything over here, they're qualified. Now, do they love the home? Okay, so this is more about money. This is more about the house. Okay, if they love the house, now it's just a matter of taking the action, saying, okay, let's fill out an application. And you want to get as many applications as you can to start screening people out. That's the goal of the appointment. And then from the paperwork standpoint, you go through here. This is where, when you go away, you do your background check, you do your application information like job search. You're getting some money up front that you're going to cash to see if it clears. This is where you're doing your, what you call, the due diligence. Okay, and this is just a great way to be able to make sure everything is working along the lines of what people say. And then from here, then the next step is to then do the second part of the paperwork step, which is the acceptance, and then the agreement, and then move-in dates and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so just as a recap, and I know I'm hitting this at a high level. The whole Turbo for Sale by Owner course goes into great detail on each of these steps. But when you get these pieces in place, and they're very easy to do once you understand them, that's how you can take the traffic, the 200 to 300 people a week that you're hoping to get through, which is probably what it's going to take to sell your house yourself. It might take a little less, but we usually average between 200 to 300 people a week coming through, that are coming through different sources, and getting them all the way up here to where you find that right person, and then you can do the deal with them. Okay, so just in closing, again, you have your intro step, That takes you to the pre-qualification step, which takes you to the appointment step, setting appointments, takes you to the paperwork step, which is the two parts of filling in an application, going through all that piece, and then doing your due diligence, and then signing them up with the agreement, and getting the next person in your home. So I hope you enjoyed this overview of the escalator marketing method. If you have any questions, feel free to add them to the blog below, the comment section, and we'll try to address them as we can. And in all things, I wish you the best in your for sale by owner efforts and having all the success you want. Take care.